What's going on, everybody? Here of Tom here, and today I'm going to be showing you, to the best of my ability anyways, how to build XIANGLING. I do apologize if mine is not at the best condition right now, because I'm not very lucky with artifacts stuff, but I have tried my best to get her to where I want her, so yeah, I'll be showing you guys how to build her good at least, so let's go ahead and get into the video. Alright, so we're going to start off with XIANGLING's talents first. So obviously she's a polearm user, and I'll go into her weapons later. So for her skill, she sends out Guoba, and he does AoE pyro damage. You know, if you get your damage high enough, he can do damage, but honestly, most of what's him doing is generating particles for you, for your team. Basically just like a pyro battery, along with Bennett. You know, if you have Bennett in your team too. They're both kind of just pyro particle generators. So yeah, he does damage, but mostly is for particles. And then her burst, this is where most of your damage will come from. She will throw a pyronado, so it just does a bunch of pyro damage. So, and I'll go more into the crit rate and crit damage later, but she can do quite a bit of damage. And first off, she's more of a support character, but if you do have good crits and everything, she can be kind of like a sub DPS at the very least, if not a main DPS. I wouldn't recommend her as being a main DPS, maybe a sub DPS, but yeah, that's what I want to say. And then for her first passive talents, increases the flame range of Guoba by 20%, so pretty nice. And then for second, when Guoba's attack effect ends, he will leave a chili pepper behind. Basically, it just increases your attack a little bit. You know, it's not necessary for attack. It only increases your attack by 10% every 10 seconds, but obviously, if you see the pepper after he disappears, obviously get it. You know, it's nice to have. And then this has to do with dishes, increasing your attack. Yeah, you'll, when making attack boosting dishes, sorry, she has a 12% chance to receive double product, so, you know. Anyway, that's it for XIANGLING's talents. Alright, guys, so over here in Inazuma, I'm going to show you a little bit how to play XIANGLING a bit. So, oh, I'm also annoying. So, this is Guoba. As you can see, he does a bit of damage, you know. Not too much, but it's, like I said, it's mostly for particles. And then this chili pepper drops, increases your attack and stuff. And then this is a burst. It'll spin all around you. So obviously, if there's tons of opponents around you, it'll hit all of them in a circle. So it's very, very nice for grouping enemies and everything. And like I said, mine does not do too much damage right now. But I really tried on artifacts. I really couldn't get my artifacts any better than this, so, you know. But anyway, that's just a short thing I wanted to show for the playstyle real quick, so yeah. Alright, so now I want to talk about XIANGLING's weapons for a little bit. So, first off, there are two main choices I want to recommend, and then the third one, there's a third choice that you can do if you don't have the first two. So, first off, the very best one is the catch by far, because it gives you a ton of energy recharge, and increase your elemental burst damage by 16% and elemental burst crit rate by 6%, which is very good for XIANGLING. As you know, her burst is what gives you a ton of damage, the most damage. And of course, that number, 16%, 6%, that will go up the more you refine it. And mine is only refinement rank 1 because I hated catching the fish. So I think anybody can agree with me that has caught fish for the catch. Like, the fishing is sucked for this. But yeah, that is the best for her. And obviously level 90 would be the best, but I didn't get to level 90. And then the second choice would be Favonius Lance, because it gives you a pretty decent amount of energy recharge too. Not nearly as much as the catch. You can see a difference here. And this is level 90 and this is level 80. So 30% to 42% almost. But it is still good. And then you have that chance of generating a small amount of elemental particles, which will help you get your burst. So that's nice as well. And that's why crit is also very good on here to get that, if you do have Favonius Lance on here. Now, if you don't have those two, the third choice I would recommend is the prototype Star Glitter, just because it gives you energy recharge, but its passive is not very good. It's not as good as the others. Well, you know, looking at it now, it does give you more energy recharge than Favonius Lance, but I'd still say Favonius Lance is better because the passive is a lot better than the passive of the Star Glitter, so yeah. So the catch, very best. Favonius Lance, second choice, and if all else fails, just use Star Glitter if you don't have the other two. I guess if artifact sets for XIANGLING, now before the Emblem of Severed Fate came out, I would have said the best would be the Crimson Witch of Flames, because of the pyro damage it gives you. But now that the Emblems of Sever Fate set is out, I will definitely recommend that the most, because as you know, her burst does the most damage, and it increases your burst by 25% of your energy recharge. So that's the main one I would recommend for that. Really, I would say emblem set, if you have a good set of emblem. If not, use Crimson Witch of Flames if you have a good Crimson Witch of Flames set until you get a good emblem set, because emblem is definitely worth getting on her, just as it is good on right Shogun. So yeah, emblem set definitely 100%. So real quick before I talk about the artifact stats and substats real quick, I do want to show my crit rate and damage and stuff, and talk about the energy recharge a little bit real quick. So this is my crit ratio. It's not amazing. Like I said, it's better if you do get crit hits for the Villainous Lance if you're using it like I am. I would be using the catch, but I'm using it on Ryan Shogun, so, you know, I kind of can't. So, yeah, crit is good on her for that, especially. And then energy recharge is a big thing with the emblem set, especially. So, a good energy recharge range, I would say, is around 230% ER. That's a good energy recharge range, and I'm not a good influence because I don't have 230%. Like I said, I was trying to get my artifact stats to where, or stats to where I had enough energy recharge and crit rate and damage at the same time. It's really hard to do. Trust me, try it and you'll see how hard it is. But 230 is a good range. It will give you around 57.5% extra damage. And then the most being 300% energy recharge, which will give you the full 75% extra damage from the emblem set, which is an insane amount to get, but I don't think it's necessary for Zhongli at least. But yeah, that's what I wanted to show real quick, is energy recharge and stuff. As for artifact stats for Zhongli, most of what you're going to look for is pretty straightforward. It's mostly going to be energy recharge to get the energy recharge up, and crit damage, crit rate. That's what you'll look for in your flower and feather. Now for the sands, it really depends on what you need. Go energy recharge if you need a lot more energy recharge, and especially if you don't have a good energy recharge weapon, I would use that. But generally, attack percent will get you more damage than getting energy recharge. Even though you have the emblem set on, attack percent will generally give you more attack. Now, it won't give you a ton more attack, but it will give you a bit more attack. So what I would say is, if you don't have a weapon with energy recharge on it, use energy recharge on your sands until you get one. And if you do have a weapon with it on it, I would use attack percent. And then for your goblet, obviously pyro damage bonus, and then a crit circlet. That's what I would recommend for those. Kind of build her like a DPS, you know, but try to find the ones that have energy recharge. Like, as you can see on my goblet, I have a pyro damage bonus goblet, but I don't have any crit. That's because this one had energy recharge on it. It was like the only pyro damage bonus goblet that had energy recharge on it. So I would try to look for the sets that have more energy recharge on them. So yeah, that's it for the stats. So real quick, I do want to talk about the constellations a little bit. She doesn't have the most amazing constellations, but she has some pretty good ones, and I did somehow get her C6. I'm pretty sure she's like C9 now, or C8 or something, because I've gotten her so many times. But yeah, mostly her C4, C1, and C6 is mostly what we want to be talking about. So for the C1, opponents hit by Globus attacks have their pyro resistance reduced by 15% for 6 seconds. So basically more pyro damage. So for the C2, I never actually used this because I never normal attack with her because I never saw a reason to, but the last attack in your normal attack sequence applies the implode status for 2 seconds, which an explosion will occur and deal 75% of Zhongli's attack's AoE pyro damage. Perhaps I should try it out to see how much damage it does, but I mean, it's only for 2 seconds, and I mean, I don't know. I never think to do it. I probably will never think to do it, but you know. And Pyronado levels up. And then this is one of the best ones, C4. Pyronado's duration is increased by 40%. So that's very good. You'll get more damage in the long run, having that last longer. So that's the main one you want to go for. If anything, get the C4 for Xiangling if you can. So, and then this one increases level of Guoba. And then for the duration of Pyronado, all Pyronado members receive a 15% pyro damage bonus. So C6 is also good, but it's not really all that necessary. So I would say the main ones you would go for are C4 and C1 mostly. So yeah, I just want to talk about Constellations for a little bit. All right, so for the team comps now, XIANGLING is a very great person to fit in anywhere if you need an extra sub DPS or support. She's just a very great PYRO character. She goes hand in hand with Bennett, like I said in my Bennett guide. She and Bennett go very, very well together, especially because you increase her burst damage with his burst, so they go very well together. Teams that she shines in exceptionally, obviously swirl teams, very good. If you have somebody like Wander, for example, very good with him. People like Kazuha, I don't have Kazuha, but Kazuha can be very good with her. Any other, animo characters really, Xiao, Shikanoi, and Heizo. Oh, and also melt teams. She can work very well with melt teams. For example, Kaya and XIANGLING, their bursts can work very, very well together. I'm sure you might see in the playtests for 4-star characters and stuff, or even 5 stars. A lot of times they will put like Lisa, Kaya, and XIANGLING together. Now, I don't really know about Lisa. I don't really play around with Lisa too much. I never have since the game really came out, but I do know that XIANGLING and Kaya are a very, very good match. I don't personally use them together in a team, but they would be very, very good together in a team. And a vaporized team could work very well too. Now, I don't really have many Hydra characters that do vaporize, but I'm sure she could work well with a damage booster like Mona, or a DPS like Ayato or Tartaglia. Anybody like that could really work well. Oh, and Jingqiu also, another support that could go very well with XIANGLING. So basically, she's a really good all-around support. I'm trying to find other teams I have her in. I only have her in 2 teams. Huh, I thought I had more than that. Anyways, she's a very good support, all-around support. Fits in anywhere. So if you have any teams that you really need an extra support, say for like a melt team, especially, she's very good in melt teams. Vaporized team, she's also good. I wouldn't say she's as good in Vaporize as she is in melt teams or in swirl teams, but she can still fit in Vaporize teams. But yeah, I use her in 2 swirl teams, and they're very identical. Bennett, XIANGLING, and 2 animo characters. That's what I use in my 2 swirl teams, but she's just a very good all-around support. So yeah, that's it for team comps. All right, so we're over here at the Spiral Abyss, and I'm going to show you, to the best of my ability anyways, with my crit and everything, how good XIANGLING can be, or at least mine. Yours can probably be a lot better than mine, but I will be showing you what mine can do at Spiral Abyss. Now, I'm going to be doing floor 10 because that's normally what I do. I don't have my characters leveled up that much. Usually when I do these showcases and stuff, I do level 70 because I kind of want to show you what you can do at level 70. 70 is a good level, where you don't have to use a ton of materials to get there. And plus, I kind of just haven't gotten a lot of characters to level 80. In fact, there's only like 1 character, and I think that's Diluc. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the showcase.
Teamwork is dreamwork! Get out of here! Eat this! Nice and spicy. Truth repeats its course.
The wind rises.
Boba, get them! Everybody stand back! Dare to mess with me?
Cry louder. Squall and fury. Surge forth.
You're toast! Nice and spicy! I'm going in! Gears of the storm!
The wind rises.
At the frying pan? We'll see about that.
Squall and fury.
work! Bubba, get them! Hey, Truth repeats its course. Dare to mess with
Unsightly insects.
How amusing.
everybody stand back! Out of the frying pan, it's too late for regrets! Let's light it up! Eat this!
I'll be back.
Teamwork is dreamwork! Nice and spicy! Truth repeats its course!
Unsightly insects. The wind rises. Now you're testing my patience.
How amusing.
Sick of this game! Everybody stand back! Bubba! Dare to mess with me?
Know your place.
Alright, everybody, so that's it for the showcase. I hope that I was able to showcase her alright. I tried to showcase every character because I didn't do a showcase for Bennett, so I would try to showcase him as well. And, you know, I was basically just trying to do what I normally do in my teams, and I was trying to get in there with my Scaramouche a little bit and try to show the Pyronado a little bit more than I normally do, because I normally just hammer on the enemies with him, and I oftentimes don't worry about hitting them with Pyronado, but I tried to hit him with Pyronado, and as you can see in there, sometimes, especially when I was in Advanced Burst, I would get, you know, up to 11,000 damage with her burst, which I think is pretty dang good, but it can be a lot better. Obviously, if I level her up to level 90 and upgrade her talents and everything, she can be a lot better, and if I do get better artifacts. But my weapon is level 90. I think I said that at the weapon section, but yeah, mine's level 90. And I do recommend, if you do have Pavilion Lance, if you're using that instead of the catch, like if you're using the catch on Raiden Shogun or something, or if you didn't get the catch, I do recommend getting it to level 90, because at level 90 it just is at 30.6% energy recharge, and like I said, the catch is at 41.9%. At level 17, the prototype Star Glitter is 37.9%. So, you know, I do recommend getting at the level 90 on all your characters, really. I need to level up my other characters' weapons, like Farazan and Fusion. I need to get their weapons so level 90 as well, but yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed the showcase, and if you did enjoy it, make sure you subscribe and check out my other videos, and I will see everybody in the next video. Bye.